I'm Sean Vesey, and this is Waves of Sound, Hong Kong. Hong Kong is a place I love. It's a city where energy runs high, and the choices of things to do, things to eat, and the places to drink are endless. Hong Kong's most identifiable trait is probably its sheer number of people, crammed into such a small space. It's hard to believe that in the middle of all these people, people are lonely. But when I look around at the people texting, walking down the street, gaming while eating with their girlfriend, or hear stories from a friend who hasn't spoken to his brother for 5 years, I see that many people in Hong Kong are lonely. When I first moved to Hong Kong 8 years ago, my only choice of companionship were the other teachers from my school. This provided a few very good friends at first that I'm still very close to this day, but romance didn't come as fast. Hong Kong can be a place to meet people short term, but these types of relationships don't always get you away from isolation.
Let's do it. Just doing a couple stories about finding love in Hong Kong.
Right, okay.
Before I met Akiko, there were no dating apps, but there was a dating website. But when I had moved to Hong Kong, I was looking for female companionship, and a guy I worked with recommended this website called Plenty of Fish.
Right.
And I had met this one girl who was a nice girl. We had a couple dates. We didn't have a long-term thing. Wasn't going to happen. So I ended up not seeing her anymore. And then a few weeks after that, I ended up meeting Akiko, who became my wife. So like my account it was inactive for probably a month or 2 months. And suddenly I got this message.
Ping.
Ping. And it said that I had an email, and the lady was quite attractive looking in the pictures, and so I just kind of titillated more than anything, right?
Word, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where can this go? And then it was a very, very enthusiastic response, and then I sent one more message and another really like, when can we meet? And I was like, oh no, I can't do this.
And you thought better.
Right, I thought better, so I ignored it, but like 5 days later, I got another message. I think we should meet sometime, but I happened to be sitting beside you.
So we were...
And you were single. I think the story was that I told her my online alias was Sean. And that my real name was John. And
I forgot about that.
I was getting a new phone number, so here's my phone number. And then a few minutes later, she sent you a message.
And for once, she got one straight back.
That's right. And you guys had a date a few days later. Do you remember the rest of that's as far as I remember.
So I thought I'd give it a go and agreed to meet her in Admiralty, a Pacific Place.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, she's pretty smoking hot in the picture. Let's
Right.
be honest. On the picture of the website.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, you know, she's like lying on her side.
Pretty suggestive photos. It's
pretty
probably what
suggestive
sold it.
photo.
It was like, hi, how are you?
Quite
And
a
then,
voluptuous figure.
Right. Pictures like early 20s though.
Yeah, and we were, you know, I was mid-20s, I guess.
I was 28, I think.
Right, so I must have been 25 or something. Nothing scandalous. I can't remember how I identified her or anything like that, but like, you know, whatever, found her and take her for it. So like, quick, let's get a drink. You know, it's always good to just have a drink. So we go into this, like one of those nice sort of bar areas in the mall, you know.
In the
it's
lobby,
quite swanky in the lobby. Yeah.
It's a swanky mall.
So this is before I bought tickets to the movie, got all prepared. We're sitting down and I order a glass of white wine and I get a beer. And I'm chopping on my beer. And we start talking about I was like, oh, so, you know, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm at school. I was like, oh, okay, so where are you studying? She's like, oh, no, I'm only 17. I'm at high school. And I'm like, what? Yeah.
I forgot this part of the story.
That's the part, man.
Oh, man, I thought she was in her 20s.
No way, man. So all of a sudden it was like, I was just frozen with panic.
Right.
You know?
Oh, no, I'm on a date.
And like, yeah, I'm on a date with like a minor and I just bought her a wine.
Right.
All of a sudden it feels like, because you're in that mall space, I'm like,
yeah,
someone watching, I just bought her a drink. Like,
exactly.
This is not, but I've still got these movie tickets. So I'm like, okay, let's go to the movie. So we sit in the movie. But you know, Avatar's like a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
So
at least 2 hours.
At least 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting through this fucking boring movie, And it just so happens it's the second time I've seen it.
Right.
And I never even liked it the first time.
Yeah.
And then it finishes, and then I'm like, okay. Like, I mean, we're driving in the taxi, going down Queen's Road there into Central to drop her off at her flat. And she's like, we see, there was that hospital there, I can't remember, there's one on the way there. But she looks at the points out, oh, it's like, oh, that's where I had my abortion. Like this, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Casually. Just drop it in the conversation.
Yeah.
Troubled a bit.
Oh man, troubled. Like I can't remember what she was talking about. Like, but it's so that it was fucked up, you know.
Don't you wanna know me? Be a friend of mine. I'll share some wisdom with you.
If the start of internet dating apps was at 12 o'clock, my long-term relationship began at 11:59 and 59 seconds. It seemed almost the moment I realized I was in an exclusive relationship. Everyone around me was swiping, rating, dating, and hooking up. Not only was online dating accepted, people were doing it from their smartphones sitting on the bus. As an outsider, I have to say I was amazed at it. But at the risk of sounding too cliche, it seemed like the technology had made it so easy to peek into other people's lives, it didn't do much to help those with feelings of isolation and loneliness. A friend of mine told me a story a few weeks ago. Thought it should be told. Here's my good friend. For the time, we'll call him Adius.
So the idea for this one was kind of a look at dating apps
Perfect
in Hong Kong. We're just down at Tamar Park, and I was just telling him my experience with dating apps. It's been your experience with
Well, Tinder came on in like 2013, 2012. I was fresh off college back then. Actually, I just moved back from to Hong Kong from the US. And I mean, like meeting girls in Hong Kong is so much different from like meeting girls in the US.
Right.
And it's pretty easy. I mean, like in the US, you can just like walk to them, just like have a cheesy pickup line, and it will work. But in Hong Kong, people will think you're a freak if you just like walk up to them and like say something really cheesy. Someone introduced me to Tinder. That was the first dating app I used. And I remember like I was doing grad school at the time as well, and also like doing like a daytime job at the bank, and Tinder was like a really entertaining form of like way to like waste of time.
Right.
I still have some good dates from Tinder, but it was only for like one maximum 2 casual dates, and then like nothing else happened. And I've also tried different apps as well, because Tinder wasn't really working too well for me. Someone like introduced me to use this like Chinese app. One of them is called let me check. Hold on. I don't use it anymore because I got scammed. Oh yeah, Happen. I saw it advertising on Facebook,
Okay.
so I decided to give it a shot.
Right.
This app, at first I thought it was kind of harmless. Mostly local girls are using it. Local girls.
Right.
Then I remember matching with this one chick, and then like she asked me if I want to hang out with her, so I did. On a Saturday, I met up with her. I mean, her photo is pretty honest. I mean, like in the sense that like her real life looks exactly like the picture she's showing on the profile picture.
Right.
And it started pretty innocent, and it's all right. We had lunch. I paid for it. Kind of expensive though. I mean, like I don't know why I took her there. This Vietnamese restaurant in Lee Garden.
Right.
But anyway, after the date, she asked me if I want to follow her to this like beauty center, and I was like, that's weird. I mean, like first dates on a beauty salon where you just lie on your back and your mouth won't be able to move and you won't be able to talk to each other. But I was like, I'll just play along. Went to this place. The manager there tried to like sell me like some like facial package for men and all, and I just picked the one that's like basically face cleansing. It was pretty refreshing, I admit it.
Yeah.
For 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay.
Afterwards, the date was waiting outside already. She asked me to come into the manager's office with her, and I was like, that's strange. I mean, she told me that's like it's about the payments for the treatment and whatsoever. I was really alarmed already. So walked in, sat down in this really small office.
Yeah.
Manager came in, started out to sweet talk me, calling me like nicknames, saying like,
Yeah.
I'm Lang Zai, like, then start to use fear tactic on me. She was like, your face looks really imbalanced. You should like, purchase some of our products to make it look more balanced. The manager started to like hard sell me all these packages. It started with something really expensive, like 10 to 20,000 Hong Kong for like 10 sessions.
Jesus.
And I was like, whoa, hold on a second. She's trying to ask me for my credit card information. She said it's
man.
like, credit card number,
Yeah.
like you can use a credit card, Visa, Amex, whatsoever. I was
Yeah.
like, no. And even my date, my quotation date,
Yeah.
she was like joining in, trying to hard sell me as well. And I was
Yeah.
like, we can offer you like, cheaper price, maybe like, throw in like, a free bag.
She was working for the beauty center.
I'm not sure because when we were still like talking to each other,
Yeah.
she's telling me how she got this office job and all.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just a front.
Right.
But I feel like at least she's working on a commission.
Right.
Maybe say that's like if I purchase like $5,000 package, she'll
Right.
get like $1,000 or $500 off that. And the girl was actually trying to like persuade me to stay, and she was like, you sign up for more of this package, you can like have more dates here. It would be fun. I was pretty embarrassed. I'm more embarrassed by the fact that like I've become a victim of a scam.
Yeah.
Like I've always like taught myself to be like really vigilant, and even though I didn't get like scammed that, except for like lunch and that one single like treatment, I just like think it's a really immoral sales
Yeah.
tactic. Well, I mean like scamming people, using like sex appeal to scam others. It has been around for ages.
Tale as old as time.
Yep. It's the internet. I was kind of like aware that like the scammers everywhere
It
internet.
is the internet.
Of course, like there might be a trust issue about like meeting like new people nowadays. But for me, like I feel like sometimes you just have to take a risk. But then I feel like in Hong Kong, people are still really conservative about like meeting people online.
Right. That's kind of a stigma.
Yeah. But then like even now, when my parents asked me where I met this girl, I didn't tell them that I met her online.
Right.
Because people are more conservative. That's why I feel like dating app has lots of potential in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
If you just get past the stigma.
All right, man. I think that's pretty good.
People
All right.
in
That was
a
good.
shop,
Thank you, man. That's cool.
all lined in a row.
After these stories of searching for companionship gone wrong, I was hoping for a story of success using dating apps. The next interview was with a guy I knew had a lot of dates from different apps. I also wanted to talk to him because I saw him on the Pro Report one night, talking about dating apps in Hong Kong. While I thought I might get some war stories of dating success or big failures, he was in a mood to talk philosophically of the dating situation. He himself is hardly using dating apps these days at all, preferring instead to meet people the old-fashioned way, through friends and social networking events. Dating apps had run their course, and he was emerging through the other side.
From time to time.
You're almost an expert.
Almost an expert. She actually started off with a Tinder profile.
Right.
The producer for that segment. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, I am literally not interested in meeting new people, but I'm doing this thing. If you're interested, can
that's
we
a good
reach
way
out?
to do it.
Yeah, definitely. It was sort of us wanting a certain kind of angle, so a bit manufactured, which is what she was getting. We were like,
Yeah.
how many times did you end up hooking up on the first time, and how much of them are into like white guys? Are you into Asian girls? It's like, I mean, I've been reading. I don't know if you heard the book from Aziz Ansari, Modern Romance.
Right.
One of the old facts he pulls up is like back in the 30s, you were 1 in 9 chance of marrying someone in your apartment building. Before it was like financial security and stuff,
Yeah.
right? Now it's like who complements the you or like your
Right.
interests,
Like-
soulmates, and but then you're just commoditizing relationships to the point where it's like Logan's Run. You're like,
Right.
you ever see Logan's Run?
No.
1960s, like they live in this like weird like futuristic sort of like bubble. You have these gems in your hands.
Yeah.
While during your off time, everybody's so happy. Like you don't watch TV, you just watch a teleporter,
Right.
and you choose yes, no, and it's like one of the
Whoa.
first remote. And it's a man who comes up, and he's like, oh, no, I
Yeah.
don't want that. So he says no, and then a girl comes in, she's not his type. And the girl, yeah, she teleports into his room, and then they're meant to
Okay.
fornicate.
Right.
And
Very similar to swiping left or right.
exactly, because it really was the precursor to Tinder.
Right.
Just imagine a world where you will hold your entire future in the palm of your hand. when a tiny glowing crystal will guide you through an existence in which each day is more wonderful than the last.
Imagine a world in which you need never be alone. You touch a switch, turn a dial, and the perfect lover steps into your arms.
Runner!
There's just one catch.
I've never seen a face like that before. That must be the look of being old.
In Logan's Run, the city is a hedonistic utopia where all your wishes are a click away. The reality is that people are being deceived and are actually existing in an empty life of consumption that leads them to isolation and loneliness. Not a bad analogy for this modern landscape of Hong Kong. That's it for this week of Waves of Sound Hong Kong. I'd like to thank the guys for their interviews. Waves of Sound is me, Sean Vesey, and my partner, John Ratcliffe. We've been hard at work trying to get more episodes recorded and posted on iTunes. If you have any comments, please contact us at wavesofsound.hk@gmail.com. Thank you for listening.
The linguist across the seas and the oceans. A permanent itinerant is what I've chosen. I find myself in a big city prison, arisen from the vision of mankind, designed to keep me discreetly, neatly in the corner. You find me with the flora and the fauna and the hardship. Backyard is where my heart is. Still I find it hard to depart this big city life. Big city life. Me try to forget my pressure, ease up no matter how hard me try.